All right. All right. We are here, baby. We are here and ready to go. Let's get this thing in focus real quick. Look at me. Look at me, camera. I'm the captain now. All right. Yes. Go ahead. Put this on. Get ready. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a hater. Won't you be mine? Say you'll be mine. Won't you be my hater? Please, won't you be? Won't you be? Please, won't you be my hater? Say you'll be my hater. All right. I think we're ready. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gentleman Masterclass Live. I am your host, Mr. Mark Antimate. Got a pretty good show in store for you guys today. I'm looking forward to making yet again another live stream with nobody watching again this week, but hopefully the viewer count will start picking up slowly over time. I need to start listing these shows like a week in advance and not 2 hours before the show is scheduled to begin. That would help get a few people inside of the room. I'm surprised that even 100 people had looked at the replay, but anyways, as it is now, it looks like we got one viewer and they're probably going to tune out soon. Let's go ahead and put these bad boys on real quick so I can hear myself. All right, I'm sounding lovely. So today, let's get some house cleaning done. And let me talk about some news before I go ahead and talk about the big shebang-a-bang, the whole reason that you guys are looking at the show. You know why you're here, because you looked at the title, and we will get to that. So first off, let me pour a dram of whiskey. I got my Glencairn glass there. And I got the same whiskey sitting on the floor that I was drinking last week. And since this is the one that's most readily available, since it was just like right there, I'm going to go ahead and have me another pour of Eagle Rare, like I said, which I had last week. This bourbon whiskey comes with a cork top. It's a nice touch for people that are more classical, so to speak. What is the word that I'm looking for? More conservative. Conservative people really like their corks, but to be honest with you, metal screw cap whiskeys are a lot better in keeping the contents of your bottle from evaporating. So there's that. This is 45% ABV, which is 90 proof. I'm still going to add just a few droplets of water to this real quick. Oh yeah, quick wristwatch check. Right now, I'm wearing the Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon with the Hasselite glass. This is a 1997 version of this watch. Here I got my little Glencairn pipette. Let me go ahead and get a little bit of water out of this. And let's go ahead and drop it inside of there. Let's get one more. Let me see if I can get a good pour this time. There we go. Just like that. Let it go. All right. So the house cleaning items that I want to talk about real quick. So many things to review on this channel. And if you don't know, I do have a secondary channel, Gentleman's Club Whiskey, where I talk about mainly Japanese whiskey, but also Scotch and bourbon whiskey, as I am the godfather of Japanese whiskey, by the way. I bought this one over about 2 months ago. This one is from this startup brand called Elevated Craft, and it's a cocktail shaker. It doesn't get cold to the touch when you shake because it's insulated. It's insulated between the inside and the outside to keep your hands, good. There's a silicone gasket inside of here to keep this from pouring out all over the place as you're shaking it. It says it's vacuum insulated, so that's pretty cool. And I think there's also a rubber gasket here to keep this lid from falling off. So it's pretty good all in all. I haven't tried it yet, but according to the reviews, this seems to be one of the best shakers that you could potentially get on the market. So I'm going to review this one and put it through the ringer over on Gentleman's Club not Gentleman's Club Masterclass. Gentleman's Club Whiskey. That's the name of the channel. So make sure you go over there and subscribe to that. And I'll be talking about this one. I also have some whiskey reviews for the Gentleman's Club Whiskey. I got the Taketsuru 17 that I have to review. McKellen 12 Sherry Oak Cask and something else. And Sakurao is a brand new brand from a brand new distillery here in Japan. That one is a single malt whiskey, probably only been aged for like 3 years or so, but we're going to go ahead and give that one a review. So that's all the whiskey news real quick. And over here on this channel, I'm looking for the things that I wanted to review. Probably some of them are sitting over inside the next room, but at least I got one of them here. I actually got 2 of them here. Dior, man, I bought this so long ago. When was it that Johnny, I almost said Johnny Cash, Johnny Depp, when was it that Johnny Depp had won that case against his ex-wife? The day that he won that case against his wife, I was like, man, it's time to go out and celebrate. I went out and bought this one right here. I used to call it the Savage. It's actually called Sauvage. And I bought the Eau de perfume of this one. I can't see how many milliliters. This is a 60 milliliter bottle of this one, of the Sauvage Eau de perfume. And when I bought this, it was too hard to tell which one I liked the best. I mean, I liked them all equally, and they were all distinctive and unique from one another. Not any 2 of these smelled exactly the same. They were just completely different, but all of them were good in their own way. But when I bought this one, the lady was nice enough to give me this very nice sample of the Sauvage Eau de Toilette. So that's sitting inside of here. I don't know how much is inside this little bottle, but it comes inside of a spray bottle, and it got a nice little packaging to it just to be a free sample. But this is a 1 milliliter, so I could probably use this just a couple of times, and it's going to be done for. But just fell out there. But look at that, man. How cool is that? There's a little nozzle there. You just squeeze and it's going to spray out. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want it to waste, but let me go ahead and put that back inside of there. So if you're not keeping tallies, I bought the Eau de perfume, and I got the free version of the Eau de Toilette. And also I got the perfume of the Sauvage. So I got all 3 of them. And I get to determine on my own time which one I like the best. I think I like the one I bought the best, but to be honest with you, I think I like them all equally. But it's nice that I get to try them all now, side by side, and determine which one I like best. I should just go ahead and just buy all 3. That would be the best thing to do. Dior. So that review's coming to the channel. All right. I think that's it for the house clean. Let me go ahead and have a sip of the whiskey real quick. A little bit of taste like figs there on the tongue and on the finish. Check this out. Swatch, Swiss made. This is what you guys came here for. This is what I came to talk about. Man, what a story here. I'm going to have to pull up some stories on my cell phone just to let you guys know how this went down real quick. Will this show up on camera? Oh, damn, that's not even high enough, son. I was hoping that would be high enough. I really got to elevate this on something. Let's elevate it like this so that you guys can see. Put this off to the side. Make sure that it's showing up on camera. There we go. There we go. It's looking good. It's looking good. So this is the way that it all went down. Let me go into my messages here on my smartphone. Facebook. Now, hold on. Let me just start off real quick. I was not going to buy this watch. If you're a subscriber of this channel, or if you look at my friend's channel, Marcelo Time, right here on YouTube, he's a watch channel. At the time that the MoonSwatch watch had came out in March of 2022, me, Marcelo, another watch YouTuber, Austin Daniels, and a guy behind the scenes who became a new friend, Mr. Tim Remington, aka Remington Steele, we were all out together at the Swatch store on the day of release. I didn't think that many Japanese people were going to know about this thing. I was like, man, there's not going to be any line. There's not going to be any wait for this. I don't know why we're showing up early. We should just show up on time. But, I was following my friends, Austin Daniels, and we agreed to come out, and we arrived to this Swatch store in Shibuya, Tokyo, Japan at about 7 a.m. in the morning. Me and Austin Daniels arrived at 7. But we already had some friends waiting. We had a friend named Vince, Tim Remington, and we had Marcelo Time waiting. And I think Marcelo was there from like 5 a.m. in the morning to get this watch. As the story goes, me and Austin Daniels start walking up and approaching the Swatch store, and we just start seeing a line, man. And automatically we knew that all of these people were waiting around the block to be the head of line to get one of these Swatch watches. And once we made it to a certain point and I could see how big the line actually was, my mouth had just dropped and hit the floor because I had no idea that it would be that many people out there to get this damn thing. I want to say that there was probably, this is a good estimate by my own account, because I walked around the entire block and looked at everything. There was probably about 4,000 people out there that day in the line from 7 a.m. to get this damn watch. And as the story goes, me and my friends, we had a spot in the line and it was quite near the front. I would have said easily we would have been one of the first 100 people if my crew were able to have got a watch that day. But they did not anticipate that the release was going to be that big and that there would be that many people. I don't even think they had 100 watches to give. So what they had to do was they shut down the store. It never even opened at 11 o'clock in the morning. The store was shut down. They called the police. A slew of about 6 to 10 cops came out. There was a squad car out there. They were telling people to get away from the building. They were announcing on the megaphone that the store will not be opening today. And not only did it not open that day, but it didn't open the next day, and it didn't open every subsequent day for the rest of that week. The store was just absolutely closed. And they essentially lied to us. They said, we did not anticipate that it would be this many people, but we promised that you'll get a MoonSwatch soon. We're going to have an online raffle type system, and you'll be able to buy these watches online. We're going to set up an online store. And then sure enough, when the online store was supposed to launch sometime in April, they completely doubled back on what they said, and then they said we're not launching an online store, and they were still trying to figure out this whole damn system. Let me just make sure that nobody's waiting inside of the chat. So anyways, yeah, man, that was just complete shit. And I was waiting for this thing for the longest. I tried going back 1 month later to see if I can buy it. The lines were still too big. If you arrived at exactly 11 o'clock as the shop doors opened 1 month later, there were still lines of about 100 people waiting from 11 o'clock every single day of the week. So I said, hey, I'll give you 2 months. I went back 2 months later, after the launch day. Still, there was like 100 people outside. Finally, I went back 3 months later. I just started going in on the weekend early. I was asking the staff inside of there was a nice, cute girl working inside of there. I asked her realistically, I said, "What are my chances of getting this watch?" That's not what I said. I said, "How often do you guys get in stock?" And, they said that it's random. And I just kept going back every so often asking this question. Maybe after about 5 or 6 months, I'm still asking them. I've said, "How often do you guys get in stock?" And then they finally started changing their answers. That's when things started to become more realistic that you can get one of these watches was 5 to 6 months after the launch date. It's just I got a story about why I didn't get one, but 5 to 6 months later, the staff had told me now we are getting in deliveries every single day of the week. So that was very good news, but unfortunately, I've been working so hard for the last 5 to 6 months that I was just not able to go there pretty much any day of the week, and especially at opening time early in the morning to pick up one of these things. Come 10 months past the launch date of this watch, my interest in this thing, because it had taken so long just for me to try to get one of these, even knowing that I could get it, my interest had just dropped just dramatically from like 100. It went from 100 to 0 real quick. So ultimately, I decided that I did not want to get one of these watches right here. Just let everybody else have it. And something changed in me. I'll tell you what changed. It's called peer pressure, is what that is. But obviously, you see that I got the watch in front of me. So I'm going to tell you how I got it. My best friend back from the United States Air Force, his name is Robbie, my boy from Philadelphia. He messaged me one morning on, he messaged me on January 21st. So that's about, let me take a look at the date. That's about 2 weeks ago there. 2.5 to 3 weeks ago. Robbie asked me, he just said out of the blue, he sent me a message on Facebook. He says, "What's your take on the MoonSwatch collab times Omega time Swatch?" And then he said, "I gave my Rolex a break and I bought one." And he showed me a picture. He bought the Mercury model, and he bought this James Bond NATO strap from Omega that's like gray, and he put that black and gray NATO strap on his Mercury MoonSwatch, and man, that thing looks so good. Yeah, this is, I should try to get this photo inside the video somehow, just so that you guys can see that there. But anyways, it's a really good looking watch. When he showed me that NATO strap on that thing, I was like, damn, that thing looks really fucking good. And he also wrote he bought the NATO strap from Omega to replace the Velcro one that came with it because he thought the Velcro strap was crap. So he replaced that immediately. And he almost spent as much for the Omega NATO strap as he did on the MoonSwatch itself. So all in all, for him, that was probably about a $600 purchase just to get this and that strap. But when he showed me that picture on January 21st, I was like, man, it looks good, but the hype inside of me had just died down. I'm not interested anymore. But he kind of revived a little bit of something inside of me. But we were talking about I'm not going to bother you guys with it, but we were talking about it all day. He sent me some pictures of the other ones that they had available. He said they only had the light blue one, which I forget what planet that is. So they had one. So obviously, him being a guy, he didn't want these girly colors, so he didn't get either one of these. Yeah, so there's that. The very next day, or was it the same day? Okay, hold on. Let me go and check my messages. Now, there's a Japanese app out here called Line. that's in Japan. It's like the Japanese version of WhatsApp. So my boy messaged me, Austin Daniels, the YouTuber that is. I'm looking for his message right now. He messaged me the very same day that my friend from Philadelphia did. Just 4 hours later, after I finished talking to the Philly friend that bought a MoonSwatch, Austin Daniels messaged me 4 hours later, and he said, "Hey, how do you feel about the MoonSwatch?" He says, "Did you finally get one? Or are you looking to get one? How difficult are they to get? What is the waiting times like?" He's asking me, he's just shooting off questions at me. So Austin Daniels just started posing an interest in it. Just by coincidence, Robbie in Philadelphia and Austin Daniels in Japan, these two guys don't know one another. It was just a complete coincidence that they messaged me the exact same day, 4 hours apart, talking about this damn watch. So at that time, when Austin messaged me and started shooting off these questions and posing an interest, then I was like, you know what? I don't believe in coincidences. Um, Something just started speaking to me like, yeah, something's telling me I should just go ahead and get one of these watches for myself. And to a even bigger, what do I want to say? Even bigger coincidence. So after that January 21st incident and talking to both of those guys, then my other friend, my other watch collecting friend, Tim Remington, he messaged me on, let me go back in time. All right, I'm getting there. He messaged me 3 days later on January 24th. And he shows me, yeah, this is not going to show up on camera, but I'm showing it anyways. You know what? If I put this up to full brightness, it just might. So he showed me a picture inside of his car where he had bought this just 3 days exactly after I was talking about it with Austin Daniels and after talking about it with so at this point in time, three people was talking to me about this watch within a short span of time. I said, fuck it, I'm finally getting one. So it took me 2 weeks because I was dealing with a lot of work and things like that. So let me show Robbie's off one more time now that I got it on full brightness. Maybe this will show up on camera. You see he got it on that strap there. It looks really good on that strap. So there is that. That's Robbie's version. And this is the one that Tim Remington got. He got the Mission to Earth. Yeah, that looks quite good on the event today. Yeah, I guess so, man. I guess so. I'm giving it a shot. All right. Right here. And it's time to unbox this. I already made a video about it, but I'm trying to edit it now. Let's go ahead and open this up out of the box because I know you guys have been waiting for this and just tired of hearing me speak about it. They had me sign like a little receipt type thing, and I put my name here in Japanese, Mark Antimate, and it shows the price is 36,300 Japanese yen, and I bought it on February 4th, and it says the color that I bought, and it says I purchased it by credit card. And there's a Swatch watch number showing that I'm like customer number 8,679 or something that bought one of these things. So they're trying to take an account of all the people that bought this watch because I don't think they really want you to buy more than one. I'm sure if I go back another day or if I go to a different shop, I'll be able to get one. But at least from the one that I bought at the Nicholas G. Hayek Center, they don't want you to buy more than one, so they give you a little receipt. Although it's 36,300 Japanese yen, I paid 280 USD for it because I ended up using an American credit card. Knowing how weak the Japanese yen is now and knowing that I could save some coin, I used that American credit card and went ahead and bought this and saved myself some money. So I think I paid even cheaper than what my American brethren are paying for this thing inside the States. Oh, I guess you guys had already seen that. I bought the Mission to Mars. The guy came out to me. First of all, let me explain. At the Nicholas G. Hayek Center, you have all of the Swatch stores inside of one big high-rise building, multiple floors. At the base floor, there's like a Volkswagen Bug or Beetle type car. It's like a little small compact car. It's in a mint green color, and on the side of the car, you have some MoonSwatch branding that goes across the door very wide. And you just see this lone guy just standing by the car, and he's dealing out moon swatches out the trunk of his car like drugs. It looks like a arms or a drug transaction taking place. And there's a queue of people set up like maybe about 20 feet away from the car, and he'll call over each person one at a time. They look at what he'll pull out a menu, and he'll say, we have this one, this one, this one, and this one today. And they don't even, here in Japan, they don't even recognize these names, Mars or Jupiter. They don't recognize the English planetary names, which came from Europe, by the way. But they have their own names for these things in Japan. So he was just calling them out by color. He says, we have the pink one, we have this one, we have the gray one, we have such and such, or the red one. So when he shows you that menu, I was taking a look at it. Originally, I was gonna get Saturn because I like the little planet on there, the little not animated, but the little the drawing, not a drawing. What the hell do you call that thing? Anyways, it had the painting on there of Saturn. I really wanted that one. They didn't have it, and this was my second choice. So I said, okay, let me get one of those. And sure enough, he pulled it out and he walked me over to the desk, and I just paid for it with a credit card. But man, this is so cool. Let's take a look at this package. Go all around this box. It says Mission to Mars, Bioceramic Moon Swatch Collection. So this is the front of the box. When you take a look at the side, you have the Omega logo. It says Omega times Moon Swatch. No, Omega times Swatch. Same thing as on the left-hand side. On one side of the box, you got these a little infographic about Mars. It says the temperature is minus 63 degrees Celsius, has blue sunsets, has weak gravity, has 2 moons. And then on the other side, it says one day Mars will have a ring. One day far in the future when when we are not there. And then on the back side of the box, you have a listing of all the Omega Time Swatch moon swatches that are available for purchase. So opening it up, you have this little slip case here. You slide it out like so. Let me do that at an angle so that shows up there. And kind of like origami, you have this slit down the middle here. It looks like origami from the side there. And you just kind of open it up down the middle. Let me make sure I got it. Let me put it right side up. So you open it up just like this. Comes open down the middle. That's nice and cool. Here on one side, you have some documentation. This one says the Swatch pop-up store, and this is a guarantee. But the crazy thing about this guarantee here is it doesn't say how long that the guarantee is for. It has the date stamp February 4th that I bought it, but it just does not say how long it lasts for. And also there's a reference number on there. You have a little pamphlet here that talks about the moon swatch. It looks like a lot of nice information inside of this one. I can't flip it open right now, but yeah, lots of good information inside of that. Lots of images. Over on the other side, you have let me put this box down real quick. You have your user manual. This thing is quite thick for what it is, man. I hope that shows up on camera. Let me show you guys that. I know that's going to be blurry, but look, the thing is quite thick. I don't know how many instructions you need for a damn moon swatch, but I don't think it needs to really be that thick. But there you go. You have these things. Let me go ahead and slip all this stuff back inside the box. Put that inside of there. If I can even get it to go back. All right, I'll deal with that later. You pull it out. There goes your swatch. And there is a little plastic seal on here, but I'll pull that off just a little bit later. And this is the mission to Mars that looks like the Alaska project. Very cool, very cool. You got your little Swatch NASA bracelet there. Let me pull this out. Let me close it up for the first time. Pretty cool. I quite like this a lot. Actually, let me show you guys something even cooler. Right now, I got my OMEGA MoonWatch on a leather band, leather strap. But actually, I do have the NASA strap for this. I'm going to pull it out of my safe right now, and I'll show that to you guys real quick. I am the first person, not like that makes me anybody special, to be honest with you, but I am the first person on YouTube to have, not to have bought, but to at least have showed this off on YouTube. This is the real OMEGA Speedmaster Moon Watch NASA strap. And I bought this one about a year and a half ago. I think I bought this, right. All right. I bought this about a year and a half ago. And how it looks compared to the MoonSwatch one. The Velcro is very similar. Is it exactly the same? Let me pull off my glasses real quick for this one and get up close. Okay, actually the Velcro looks like it's exactly the same type of material. The nylon on the front and the Velcro on the back. Let me stretch this open real quick and have a look on the inside. Right, this is exactly the same. The only difference is, all right, the only difference is here, you have this buckle, and what you're supposed to do with this buckle is you slide this through, right? Just like that, so that it stays on your wrist and you wrap it around. So this buckle on the MoonSwatch is made out of plastic, whereas this one is made out of steel, or yeah, I'll have to figure out if that's steel. I'll put a magnet to it later. It could just be aluminum. All right, so there you go. The difference is only in that buckle and in the color of this, but pretty nice. And since this was the first strap to come out, okay, right now, this is what this looks like here. You got NASA written on that one, whereas you have OMEGA written on this. Not bad. And on the reverse side, you have OMEGA on the MoonSwatch strap. But if you look at my unboxing, just one of the first videos that I've ever did about the MoonWatch, you'll see that I have this strap on the watch itself. Maybe I've spoke about the strap in the video, maybe I didn't, but I just spoke about it here. This thing was quite expensive. It cost me, I believe at the time before Omega started raising the prices on things, that this cost me about 100, not even. This cost me 25,200 Japanese yen, something along those lines, which is quite a great deal of money. And then last year, Omega upped their prices by 10%, which means that this thing became even more expensive. So I'm glad that I got it when I did, but yeah, it's okay. It the way it sits on your wrist, it's comfortable and all, but it kind of has a little bit of a lean to it it's just not all there. The other bad point about this strap that I'll tell you guys real quick, and my MoonSwatch guys out there that have the exact same strap, you're going to find out about this sure enough, but I'll be the first person to tell you about it. After 1 year of use of this strap and running this thing through this buckle just to put it on and to take it off, your strap on the corners is going to become frayed. So mine is frayed and it's damaged, and the black has been worn off the corners, and now the little felt material starting to come through on the edges there. So you have to be ready for that. It will happen to you. And also it's going to happen here on the side. This is going to become frayed, and you're going to see the little felt material, whatever material is underneath or on the inside of this velvet like type thing. It's just going to start to come off, and it's just going to start to turn gray. Maybe it's not going to look so bad on this one because this is a white watch. It's a white strap, so it won't be so noticeable. But on this one, where this thing is black, yeah, you can definitely notice all that gray fraying up there. It's so easy to see. So there is that. Let me put this on the wrist actually for the very first time. Oh, here on the back it says Mission to Mars, and this is a little battery protector type case thing. And it looks like it has Mars painted on the back there. Battery cover, that's the word that I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and put this on for the very first time. It looks like a toy and it feels like a toy. And the one that I got specifically, this one, the Mars one, looks absolutely the most like a toy out of all of the ones that you can get. I was also interested in the one that Daniel Craig had, the Mission to Neptune. He was at some gala or something like that, at some event. He was suited up. I think it was a Swatch event, branded event, and he was wearing a navy blue suit with that navy blue MoonSwatch on, and he made that thing look so professional. But I'm going completely in the opposite direction. I don't have anything to match any of my suits, uh, black, gray, or navy blue. This one is a complete contrast. This is very playful, the most playful color that you can get out of all of them. And I'm just going to have fun with this watch, to be honest with you. All right. You have your pushers here. Let's make sure that it don't break. When I bought the watch, the guy had me press the pusher for the first time to make sure that everything was operational before he sold it to me. But yeah, the pusher works. And let's turn it all the way around. Man, that operates so good and it looks so nice, man. I can't believe I have this thing. I'm actually glad that I bought it. The bioceramic feels good. It's very lightweight. Man, I don't have to worry about this thing much. I'm just going to use this as a all of my watches are beater watches. What am I talking about? I just wear them all to hell. I wear this as a beater. I wear my Explorer 2 as a beater. Watches are made to be worn, so I don't really protect them that much, but man, it's a good looking watch right there. Let's take this off and put these up side by side. I just took off the plastic real quick. I'll put that back on in just a moment. Let me see if I can get this thing to focus for you guys real quick. All right, there you have it. There's a few things that I'm going to talk about real quick. And then I'm just going to go ahead and end the video. It looks like I don't have any guests. Let me get myself back into focus real quick. Hey, camera. All right, I'm going to need that camera to focus on me. Hey, look at me. I'm the captain now. All right. Beautiful watch. Let me go ahead and put it back on here how it came out of the box originally. Strap goes all the way around and it tucks inside of there. Nice, nice. Put my little plastic label back on there. Slide this back inside the box. If I can get it in there. Slide that back inside of here. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Tuck this bad boy away. Okay. I'm trying. Okay. And let's go ahead and close that back up real quick, just like that. Done showing this off. Now, I told you guys the story about how I bought this watch. Let's see about the hype. Is the hype still going strong on this watch? Well, almost 1 year later, for the simple fact that it had eluded me for so long and I thought that I was actually never going to get it, even when the availability was there. I just lost interest completely. But now that I do have it, the interest that came back to me because of all of my peers had it, people are still talking about this watch. This thing is still hyped. And now let me show you guys how many of these things have been sold. Let me just type in some information here and I'll be right with you guys. Just stay there. I think the article that I originally sold was on Houdinki. Right, I just found it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay. Share screen. It's going to be that tab right there. All right, you guys can see that. This Houdinki article came out not too long ago, actually. And this is January 31st. So for me in Tokyo, Japan, this is 5 days ago. For you guys stateside, this thing is only 4 days old. Business news: Swatch sold 1 million MoonSwatches in 2022, leading a record year for Swiss swatches. But can it last? And to answer that question, just based on the strength that I bought this damn thing 11 months later and seeing that there's still some type of line every single day of people just walking up to the pop-up store just to buy this thing in Ginza, probably even more people inside of Shibuya, Harajuku, and Yokohama. I assume that this thing, at least in Japan, this thing is still hot and everybody wants one. The numbers are in, and the Swatch watch exports totaled CHF 23.7 billion in 2022, an 11.6% increase over the previous year, and an all-time high for the industry. This is according to the Federation of the Swiss Watch Industry, FH, which last week reported its year-end figures for the wholesale value of Swiss watches exported. The rise is mainly due to an increase in the value of watches exported. Many brands went up by 10% in price last year. Like I said, OMEGA went up themselves 10% in price, which is very saddening to me because things that I was willing to pay a certain amount of money for, I'm not willing to pay that much for them anymore. So now I'll just look for them on the secondary market if I do want to buy those. But here we go. This rise is mainly due to an increase in the value of watches exported, not the volume. About 15.8 million units were exported in 2022, half the amount exported in the year 2000. But back in 2000, the Swiss were exporting primarily cheaper quartz watches. 92% of exports were quartz. Mechanical watch exports have nearly tripled since 2000. And in 2022, nearly 40% of exports were mechanical watches, and expensive ones at that. A continued pattern over the past few years has also been the rise in precious metal and two-tone watches. Recent releases like last year's white gold Patek 5811 and a pair of gorgeous gold Speedmasters just make this statistic feel true too, right? The United States led the way as the largest export market, up 26% year over year. In fact, each of the top 10 export markets were up except for China and Hong Kong, for obvious reasons, down 13.6 and 10.5% respectively. Of course, China only recently reopened its borders and its approach to pandemic restrictions, so we'll have to wait and see how these policy changes impact watch exports or don't. So here goes the biggest markets on the right-hand side here. Let's take a look at this. Get this in view. I can get that better than that. Dang it, man. If I can't get that thing centered. There we go. There we go. Okay. United States accounted for 3.89 CHF in billions. China was number 2 even with the pandemic, but it says that their sales were down minus 13.6%, whereas the United States was up 26.3%. And now that Big Brother China is running Hong Kong these days, since they really taken over like the last 2 to 3 years, they're down with China just the same, 10.5%. Japan, where I'm at, Tokyo. This place is absolutely a madhouse for luxury watches. I would say that outside of the factories in Switzerland where they're making these damn things, inside of shops, bar none, there are the most luxury watch shops in the greater Tokyo area, and probably just in Japan in general, but specifically the greater Tokyo area, than anywhere else in the world. And people are just going mad over luxury watches. This is a culture that you are not. I'm not judging. I'm just telling you guys the way it is, having been a resident of Japan for the past 20 years. This is a culture where you are somebody based on how much money you can spend on luxury goods. to show your worth, so to speak. Inside of the United States, just luxury is something completely different. People realize that luxury is for the rich inside of the United States. If you see somebody with a Rolex watch or they're driving a Ferrari, all right, that's taking a little bit too extreme. Not a Ferrari. Let's double back on that. If you see people with a Coach bag, a Louis Vuitton bag, a Moncler, is that the name of that jacket? The Moncler jacket. You see them with a Rolex watch on, things like this, an Omega watch. More than likely, these are very wealthy people. At least they're going to be middle class, upper middle class, because poor people just don't spend a lot of money on these things. But in Japan, even people without a lot of money, or you're a young lady, 20 years old, 21, 22 years old, you're still going to go out of your way to get that Louis Vuitton bag. And Louis Vuitton bags here are just a dime a dozen. Out of the first 10 young, attractive girls that are gonna walk past you on any given day, if you count them out, the first 10 that walks past you, probably 6 or 7 of those is gonna have a luxury bag on them. So it's just the way it is. They don't feel like somebody unless they have something to make them feel like they're valued or to show their worth. So they spend big in Japan. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent. They sold 1.69 CHF in the billions in Japan of Swiss watches, and they're up 19.5%. And this is followed by the UK, which that place is crazy. I don't know why you would buy a luxury watch there with all that rampant crime and such. After that is Singapore. Then you have Germany, France, UAE, followed by Italy last. So that's the top 10. Let's go. Oh, let me go back to this real quick. All right. Nice. However, growth is slowing. December exports were up 5.8% compared to a year prior, lower than the annual average. This reflects what's happening on the secondary market too, where prices for models like the Daytona are down as much as 35 to 40% from peaks around March 2022. I think the thing is, a lot of people are getting the watches that they want. So once you get the piece or pieces that you desire, you're not really going to be on the market too much longer after that. You get what you want and you just kind of back away. And that's just the way it is. But okay. Okay, where were we at? Still, while estimates suggest that the primary market will experience slowed growth over the next few years, projections remain bullish on the secondary market. According to industry consultant Luxy Consult, the secondary market grew 20% year over year in 2022, and it estimates the secondary market will triple in value by 2033. I see that being the case, as so many people is watch YouTube gurus these days, and there's so many YouTube watch channels. Everybody needs to buy a luxury watch so that they can talk about it on their channel. I'm getting ready to make my grand exit from the watch game after I probably buy 1 or 2 more and probably switch out a few things. Like, for example, I'm thinking about switching out this 1997 Hesalite Moonwatch for 2023 Sapphire Sandwich 3861 version of this watch. So I would only be selling this, my first luxury watch, just to upgrade it to a newer model. But aside from that, in doing a couple of switches, whoop-de-whoop-whoop, I don't see myself buying too many more new watches. I'm going to get myself a diver, and then I think that's going to be my complete exit from the watch game for me. I pretty much have everything I want. I'm not trying to show off for YouTube. Obviously, when I buy these watches, just like when I bought this mission to Mars, I will show them off here on YouTube, but I didn't buy them just to show off on YouTube. I mean, you got to be some kind of a nut if you're buying watches and losing money just so that you could show them off and get a couple thousand hits and not get in return the investment that you put into these pieces. I'm buying my watches strictly for me, not for the entertainment of everybody else. It's just vicariously you're looking at me showing off these watches that interest me on this channel. And let's skip a lot of this stuff. Swatch Group, 1 million moon swatches sold. The FH's year-end figures weren't the only peak we got into how the Swatch industry is doing. On January 24th, the Swatch Group also announced its year-end financials. I think that was the day Austin Daniels had messaged me saying, "Hey, man, did you get a moon swatch yet?" Yeah, I got a moon swatch now. I do, buddy. Among the headlines, Swatch said it sold more than 1 million moon swatches. Overall results were slightly less impressive. Why was that less impressive? The day that they opened up, that they were going to open up the shop back in March, they were not anticipating moving this many pieces of moon swatches back at that time. So that's a complete lie there. Overall results were slightly less impressive with net sales up 4.6% year over year, missing its target. I don't believe that. However, this was dragged down massively by slow Chinese demand, where Longines and Omega are two of the most popular brands. Swatch said sales would have been up 25% if not for China, reflecting the trend for Swatch watch exports more broadly. If this is the case, this is what pisses me off. They knew that the borders of China was closed. If they wanted to move these pieces, why didn't they just allocate all the pieces to a place like Japan or the big cities like America or London, where they knew that there was great demand for these pieces and they knew that thousands of people are standing out in line for these things? They could have got us our watches a lot sooner had they allocated them a lot faster instead of waiting to see what China's going to do. If the place is closed and Hong Kong is closed, they don't need these watches. That 25% could have went elsewhere, man. So anyways, Swatch Group's 4.6% growth means it didn't keep pace with the 11.6% of the total Swatch watch exports, but the group's largest brand, Omega, seems to have displayed an upward trend, particularly in the United States. As we reported in December, this is in part thanks to the MoonSwatch, which has driven interest and sales in the Speedmaster. Very nice, very nice. Here's how Swatch Group puts it in its financial reporting. In the wake of the MoonSwatch hype, the entire Omega Speedmaster collection, for example, the MoonWatch models also profited from greatly increased interest. And I don't think I'm going to read any more. Okay, here we go. This is the last thing. Let me have a quick dram of whiskey real quick, man, because my throat is absolutely parched. Let me just have a sip of this. Help me clear my throat. Let's go back to this article real quick. How do I get that more full screen? There we go. This is even better. So, it says, can it last? Still, with these mostly positive signs, things feel much different than they did a year ago. For example, Watch Chart's market index shows secondary market prices have dropped on average 12% over the last 6 months, with prices for previously hyped watches experiencing the biggest drops. Not to mention the generally more negative economic sentiment outside the watch industry, those animal spirits. One One potential bright spot remains China, which only now is fully reopening and has served as a drag on Swiss exports for more than 2 years. Cautious optimism seems to permeate the watch industry, thanks largely to the potential growth of the secondary market. Anyway, it was never sustainable for a modern Daytona that retails for $15,000 to resell for $50,000. So perhaps the market is in a healthier place than it was a year ago. Man, with all these price increases, I can't say I'm too excited this year about watch buying, not unless it's going to be from the secondary market, but they might go up in price as well. There's one thing that I want to say real quick. I just needed to jog my memory. It says, can it last? Okay, yeah. Let's end on that. Can it last? Are the prices going to go up for luxury watches in general? No, that's not what I wanted to say. For the hype and sales for MoonSwatches and for luxury watches, will the hype last? In the case of just MoonSwatches only, I'm going to say yes, because they saw how well that this did. If they can replicate this with another watch, if they can do an Omega Seamaster version of a Moon Swatch, obviously it wouldn't be called a Moon Swatch, they'll call it something else. A moon, not a moon. I gotta get the word moon out of there. What the hell would you call an Omega Seamaster? A Swatch Master, something like that. Whatever the hell you're gonna call it. The next iteration of this watch, I can see that being a big deal as well. You can have the cheapo James Bond model of the Seamaster, but in Swatch plastic for $300. Because I was thinking about buying that the No Time to Die watch. Here in Japan, that thing is about 1.2 million Japanese yen. And I'm not sure if I'm willing to spend over 1 million Japanese yen for that watch, for that particular watch. I really want it, but I think that thing is worth more like 800,000 Japanese yen rather than 1.2 million Japanese yen. So, because the price is so high on that, and because Omega jacked up the prices 10% just last year, my desire to get that thing is just completely done for. But if they were to release a $300, or what is it, a 36,300 Japanese yen iteration of the James Bond watch, fuck, I'll get the No Time to Die version of that. I'll get the new version that they released, the one that's like an amalgamation of all the Omega James Bond watches, the one that just recently came out. If they do that one up as like a Moon Swatch version, I would get that. I would just get the whole James Bond range of watches, man. And I think that's gonna be it. Very excited to see what they do next, because you got all these missions. I mean, what's left? What's left from this? Where do you go from here? Do you do other planets? Oh, nah, that came out wrong. They did all the planets already. That came out wrong. Do you take this watch and do other things with it aside from planets? For example, since the planets are already done, what about doing racing watches of the Omega Speedmaster, but just have racing dials on them and have them in multiple funky, playful colors: pink, red, bright green, sky blue. You have all of these funky colors. Have it look very racing. Have some faux carbon fiber on the dial or something like that. I would be all over those things. I think I would probably pick up one of those too. So I think there's other places that they can go from here. They learned a valuable lesson. Branding sells. all you had to do was just add the word Omega to the front of this watch and have it look like a real watch. And boom, the sales have been good. 1 million in sales for this damn thing. Anyways, I think I've talked long enough. I've been speaking 1 hour solo on this thing. I didn't have any guest on tonight. Let me just check my phone real quick, make sure that my friend Marcelo wasn't trying to get on or anything like that. All right. So, no special guest coming on today like there was in the last episode. I do have a watch friend. I want to close on this note. I have a very eloquent watch friend that exists here on YouTube, Mr. Jonathan Quayle Higgins. Obviously, that's not his real name. He took that from from the Magnum PI character. But this guy is very knowledgeable about watches. He's a very good friend of mine. He sold me the Easy Link for my old Rolex Explorer, and yeah, I would like to have him on with his knowledge versus my stupidity in the questions that I raise. I think that's going to be a good contrast because you have this guy that's way up here in watch knowledge. I mean, he's the creme de la creme of the Swiss buying community in terms of Rolex and haute horology and things like this, and his knowledge is just very, very high. And you have me down here at the bottom of the totem pole. My knowledge on Swiss watches is complete shit. You know, I got it as I bought this MoonSwatch after the fact. Then I get my knowledge up really, really high about just strictly the pieces that I own. But the things that I don't own, I just don't know about them that much. So I would be the guy asking Jonathan Quayle Higgins all the questions that you yourself had wanted to know. And he'll give you good answers in layman terms that everybody can understand. And I think that's going to make for a good show. He has his own channel now that's called the John and Swiss Show. Or is it called? It's called the Swiss and John Show, one of the two. And but his co-partner, his partner in crime, Swiss, is just so busy with work that he hasn't been on recently. So, hey, it might be time to steal your co-host away from you, and maybe I can have him appear on this channel on a weekly basis so that we could talk watches. But anyways, I'm going on an hour 10 minutes. Let me just finish off this dram here, and we're gonna close out this show. The Mission to Mars. Let me show this off one more time for the camera. Mission to Mars. You got your Omega Time Swatch branding on the side, both sides. One side, you got all your planetary info, the temperature, has blue sunsets, has weak gravity, has 2 moons. One day, Mars will have a ring. Open it up for the last time. Show that bad boy off. Let me get this into focus. All right. Yeah, that's as good as I can get it right there. Pretty cool watch, man. All right. Let me get this blurriness off. I think this is a good time to end the show. I would like to tell you guys thank you for watching. Salute to you wherever you may be out inside the world. Hold on. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. I think I'm going to do these shows weekly, or at least I'm going to attempt to try to do them weekly. For me, it's going to be Sunday night, Japan Standard Time here in Tokyo. And for my brethren that's back home inside the United States, it's going to be Sunday mornings that you're going to see this show go live. This is all scheduled to change within the future as I'm going to have a lot of free time on my hands coming soon. I'm going to be working hard for the duration of this next week. And after that, I'm a free agent again. I mean, I'm still going to be doing some work, but I'm going to be more of a freelancer, not out of the matrix, not really working for a corporation or a company. So I'm gonna have a lot of free time on my hands, and I'll try to do more live streams. And guess what? They're not all gonna be watches. I'll do some about shoes. I'll do some about suits, hats, just perfumes, colognes, just all kinds of miscellaneous stuff. Things inside the men's lifestyle category I'll do videos about, but probably more than likely it's going to be watch related because I got people that want to watch that type of content. So make sure you like and subscribe so that you get those notifications about when I go live. And I'm sorry I just threw up this video like this. I only put up the notification that I was doing this particular show that you're watching right now. I put this up 2 hours before the show went live. I think I would have more live viewers had I had put this on my channel and announced it a week ago so that you guys can know that this show is forthcoming. But I'll fix it for next week. I'll think of a good topic. I'll try to get some guests to come on, and I'll see you guys then. Anyways, here we go. This is really the end now. Salute to you wherever you may be out inside the world. If you guys are drinking with me, make sure that you guys drink responsibly. And as always, gentlemen, you guys know what to do. Keep it classy. I'm out.